Hello, so this is the Luther podcast, and yeah, this is going to be my inner thoughts narrated with a fun little character that I call Luther, that is a reflection of, I guess, an alter ego, or what's a better word for it? Just a fun imagining of consciousness and the darkness of the body, and then the focus on the golden crown in the top kind of signifies my fascination with being wanting control, I guess, but also wanting control in a good way, so I have control over my life and my purpose for being here. But anyway, that's getting off topic. This podcast is going to be probably about 5 to 10 minutes long each time, and it's going to focus on quite like different, I wouldn't say spiritual, but just topics that I find interesting and about different ideas that can help people in their lives. So the first idea is going to be that suffering is a force that creates eventually inner happiness. So suffering being a force that eventually creates inner happiness. So I would explain this to be a poem. There's a poem that I wrote today which reflects this. So it's don't crystals that shine the brightest grow in the darkest of caves? Is not the diamond of your soul the very same? So that is about crystals and how that poem is about crystals and how they grow in dark caves, but they shine the brightest. So the suffering we feel, it solidifies and it crystallizes and it becomes something entirely new. So there's actually different um, religions that talk about this kind of thing, like suffering being something that can bring about, or like, what's the word, like aesthetic people, yeah, aesthetics. So they live a life of controlling the body, controlling the mind, a forceful life full of suffering. They might wear like a cage on their head, or they might wear yeah, they might wear a cage on their head to limit their movements, to limit their what they eat, what they drink, and that for them brings about a sort of spiritual evolution, a kind of maturing of the soul. So that's just one example of why suffering is something not to be avoided but understood in the way that it is a force. It's not a good force, it's not a nice force when you feel it, but think of it as a rubber band that when you pull it back, the further you pull back this rubber band that is your suffering, the further deeper you go into suffering, that when that rubber band is released, you go in, you fly higher into the light. So that is a great analogy for suffering. And I just wanted to talk about suffering because everyone experiences it, and kind of reframing our ideas about suffering is something that I'm saying suffering a lot. This is funny. But I think just pain in general, maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's just normal neuroses or whatever it may be. It's there and it's real and it controls people's minds, but it's something that creates light at the end of it. And a analogy for my own life would be I was having pain in my shoulders when I was younger, and I was having lots of pain in my shoulders, and I was having pain in my shoulders when I was younger, basically. And this pain was like a gritty kind of feeling where I was getting these like spikes in my shoulders. It was feeling like those spikes were like in my shoulders. But now I'm older, and this feeling of pain has evolved into a feeling of satisfaction, and it's almost like little diamonds in my shoulder blades. It's hard to explain, but I thought that would be a good analogy for suffering, kind of maturing into something like taming the beast. The idea of the man or the knight slaying the dragon. So good luck in your own lives to slay this dragon, to tame this beast that is suffering, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Have a lovely day. This